Hello everyone, and welcome to a slightly different episode of Rocketvlogs. I hope you enjoyed last week's when we went to a Tripoli, Idaho rocketry launch. We will be going to another launch here soon, June 29th and 30th. We will be in Brothers, Oregon for Oregon Rocketry's Northwest Extreme Rocket Show. Whether it was from watching Rocket Challenge back in 2003 and seeing Kai Michelson and the Rocketman crew fly a porta potty, which is how I first was exposed to them, or you're familiar with their parachutes and you've flown them, or you're familiar with their parachutes and you haven't flown them. Rocketman asked me to do a review of their parachutes, and I want to thank them for giving me a good deal on this 8-foot Rocketman parachute that I just flew in my rocket Mad Dog, which is a performance rocketry Mad Dog with a little bit of play with the classic meme. But I had never owned or flown a Rocketman parachute, but I'd always admired them. There was one certain aspect of them that I didn't realize was the reason I liked them so much, but we'll get to that later. First, let me show you the footage of my rocket flying with the Rocketman. I tried to get good footage of it coming back under shoot, but unfortunately it went away from us, so my camera, while it has pretty decent zoom, wasn't quite capable of keeping up. So I'm going to find a couple short clips with credit, obviously, and give you some more insight into Rocketman parachutes as I describe them to you.
2, 1. Love it.
Alright, the Rocketman chute really breaks the scenery, which I'm super appreciative of because I like finding my rockets. But there it is right there. Here we are. My dad and I are consistent members of the Too Much Shock Cord Club. Well, too much is subjective because I think it looks pretty graceful when you have 90 feet of shock cord in an 8-foot rocket. And here we are. Pick yourself one up. So overall, it was a really good flight. We chucked it about 3,300 feet. It's a pretty heavy rocket for a J800, but it was super loud and super cool. I love those motors. I'm going to go ahead and start getting into the benefits of a Rocketman parachute as compared to other parachute companies. And I had a conversation with Buddy, Kai Michelson's son, about what makes their parachutes advantageous over others. And for one, as you can see here, there's only 4 shroud lines, which makes it super easy to keep track of everything. Nothing tangles up. It's really nice. Like even there, you look like there's a little bit of a knot, but you just pull it out. No tangles there. Fantastic. The less shroud lines, the better. And I really enjoyed how easy it was to pack. And it's not only the lines that make it that easy to pack, but the fact that the nylon they use is coated, and you can actually feel it, as obviously you can't, but as compared to other parachutes, it's a lot slicker. So while you do need a bigger Rocketman parachute than you would, say, a super high CD, big round parachute to bring down a rocket of the same weight, it's not going to be a problem for packing because they pack so small and they're so slippery. They're very easy to get in a rocket. Like I said, this was in my 4-inch Mad Dog. It's a big parachute for a 4-inch tube, but we had no problems getting it in, and more importantly, we had no problems getting it out. One of the bigger advantages of a Rocketman parachute, which is what I realized as it was flying, as I was talking to Buddy about it, makes them so appealing to me, is that they don't spin. Buddy was saying that people always ask a swivel recommendation, and he says don't run a swivel, it doesn't spin. I never really processed that when watching them, but they don't. They just don't spin. They stay in one spot and just, it looks very photogenic, very picturesque because it's just standing still and everything seems very serene and peaceful as it's coming down. And looking back at footage of Rocketman parachutes I've seen all over for years, it makes perfect sense to me as to why I liked them so much, because that just looks so aesthetically pleasing to not have the parachute spinning, and obviously on top of that you're not going to tangle your shock cord, you're not going to tangle your 4 shroud lines. Now another cool thing about the Rocketman parachutes is that if you watch a lot of videos of them, mine was doing it but not super low. This is about the only time I got footage of it under parachute. It doesn't spin, obviously. It doesn't really tilt. And the way the air is let out of these parachutes is, Buddy described it as it works like an octopus. You can watch the parachute pulse, which is pretty cool. I've always kind of understood that that will benefit you and that the wind won't take it away as much, but I can't confirm that. Nobody's ever provided any science behind that. I've just always been told that. But they are very interesting to watch, and I actually told Buddy one of my favorite rocket videos ever is Spike, the level 3 6-fin rocket that flew on a Rocketman parachute, which is what you're watching as I talk over this. But you can just really see the nice pulsing parachute, and it's actually flown with a sky angle chute. And I'm not going to say anything bad about sky angle because I do have sky angle parachutes as well, but there's very notable difference in the fact that their sky angle drogue is spinning pretty wildly and the Rocketman chute is staying still. Another cool thing about Rocketman parachutes is that they all come with this loop sewn in the top, so you can use a deployment bag, throw a smaller little pilot chute on there, which is super cool. I don't use deployment bags. I'm lazy. I still use wires to my altimeters, twist them up and tape them to the outside of the rocket. But I'm a simplistic kind of guy, but if you're not a simplistic kind of guy, there's a very easy solution to running a deployment bag, and a pilot chute is the loop pre-sewn, and of course the shroud lines are sewn all the way over top the canopy. Very stout, durable design. Buddy was saying that he doesn't know of a single instance where a Rocketman parachute has ever shredded, even under deployment on the way up. And of course they have their Mach 2 ballistic parachutes, which were used to recover the CSXT rocket both times they flew it. Those were deployed at very high rates. I can't remember exactly, but I'll put it on screen once I look that up. And another cool feature that Rocketman Shoots has, I believe he said 7 feet and under. This one's an 8-footer, so it doesn't have it. I have a Rocketman drogue somewhere that I've been using for a while. Never flown a big Rocketman, but I did have, I believe, a 24-inch one. And they come with, I don't even know what you'd call it. It's like a drawstring bead, and you can use that to reef up the lines if you're flying a lighter rocket and continue using the same size parachute and not have to worry about it drifting too far away because it's coming down too slowly. Overall, as a person who's been into high power for over 10 years, I have many different brands of parachutes, and a lot of them have always stemmed from me being unable to afford anything other than your basic parachute, which works fine. But being a grown-up now, I would definitely advise picking one of these up. So if you're building any rocket and you haven't decided what parachute you'd like to fly, I definitely highly recommend picking up a Rocketman parachute. They're super professionally built. The guys over there are all grade A, awesome, really cool people, and they're just super good quality parachutes. And it's not even just rockets. They have parachutes for runners, RC planes. They even have swimming parachutes for resistance underwater. But I, for one, definitely am going to be flying this parachute a lot because I really loved it.
I also forgot to mention that you can get Rocketman parachutes up to 60 feet in diameter, and they also have various parachutes made from different materials, including flameproof Kevlar chutes, that the chute themselves is Kevlar, as well as the shroud lines. No need to pack a Nomex protector or anything like that. Just put it in and fly it.
That's pretty much going to do it for this video, but I hope you guys have enjoyed my review of Rocketman products and their parachutes. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to see what comes next on Rocketvlogs. I've got a couple kits being built, and I have a really exciting one on the way. So hit the subscribe button. Turn your notifications on so you can see every time we upload a video here at Rocketvlogs, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.